our side, and one of the teams fielded a team that was over points, and we figured the best solution was to completely wipe that match from the books, gave you guys some free explosions to watch. We're starting off the best of 3 again with match 1 right here, right now. So the blue team on the field for this one has 2 Sleipnirs, 1 Drake, 1 Scimitar, 3 Sabers, and a Coercer.
I am Seldarine, and in the red corner we have Insurance Fraud Inc. We have a triple Proteus rush team with an Aneros, a Saber, and triple Griffin.
And we have a countdown starting in local. Once again, our apologies, guys, both to the players and the viewers. But we should have that resolved now. We're triple checking our points every time now, so that will not happen again. This should be a fun one to watch. Both of these teams rely on close range, high mobility damage, so we will see which one comes out on top.
Don't forget to mention there's quite a large proportion of ECM on the Insurance Fraud team. Griffins are potent little Tech 1 jamming ships, so it'll be interesting to see if that jamming has an effect on the outcome of this match.
Indeed, bang for the buck wise. I'd say Griffin and Maulus are probably fairly even for very cost-efficient ways to kill off those last few points of the setup. So here we go. The match is on. We immediately see a Saber of Lex burning back away into the blue cluster away from the beacon. And the red team looks like it's spreading out a little bit. Their Griffins are pulling out to range and skirting out. Drones are crossing the field, but neither team's really burning straight at one another yet.
The red team appear just to be clustering, although they seem to be going towards the enemy team now, and the blues are balled up around 50 kilometers from the beacon and are pretty much in the same place. Right now, both teams just seem to be looking at what's going on here, trying to figure out a way to attack the enemy team and win this match.
Indeed, I am, seeing these brackets close in on each other a little bit here, but the blue team seems to be pulling away while the red team burns in towards them. Drones are crossing the field now, and you're seeing blue. They appear to be Hobgoblin 2s and Valk 2s arriving on the first Proteus of Ganrider. We'll see if it actually manages to scratch his shields or what they're going to do when they get there.
The jamming modules from the Insurance Fraud Griffin appear to be split between the Sleipnir of Lucky CCS and the Scimitar of Cybertan, but from the control bar we cannot tell if those jamming modules are successful, only that they have been activated on those ships.
My guess is lock range. The player, the Griffin, doesn't have an extraordinary lock range without putting a SIG amp on it. As you see now that the ECM has actually dropped off an entirely unlucky CCS, I'm doubting they're putting all 3 Griffins onto Lucky. My guess is that these Griffins are not able to lock far enough in order to do that. They have pulled out back behind the red team cluster, so my guess is they're going to have to be pulling into range. You can see the one Jamie's score that does have ECM up is actually a little closer than the other 2. So it could just be a range issue right now. My guess is what we're going to see is something similar to what we saw before against the ECM team with Reputation Cartel a few matches back, where both teams split off and they kind of danced around for a little while trying to bait one another into making a mistake, and I think that's how this match is going to go. Both teams have a lot of respect for what the other team has fielded here, and they want to try to catch them off guard, perhaps get 1 or 2 ships out of the way first, and then they can go dive in and thinking the advantage is theirs.
The range between the 2 teams, however, is gradually decreasing. The 3 Proteuses of the Insurance Squad team are just moving towards the blue team at their base speeds, no propulsion modules being activated yet, and they're closing down that range. They're currently 50 kilometers from the blue team. Blue team, however, are not keeping that range. But it looks like we have some changing positions now from the blue team. They may be heading towards this red team and have decided to stop running and just go in there and blow some ships up.
It may also be that they've recognized these Proteus are not fit with the long-range tackle, the friction extension module, subsystem rather, I should say. They are fit with the equivalent of the ECCM, the sensor strength, sensor integrity subsystem. They may be noticing that and deciding they're not going to get scrammed out to 20, 30 kilometers. They may be able to take a chance at coming in a little closer. So we will see how this plays out. They may just also be doing a little bit of a dance here.
Yeah, they're for sure the blue team, they're worried about all this jamming from the red team. And the closer they get to the red team, the closer they're going to be to the optimal range of these jamming modules. So the chance for jams is going to increase the closer they get to the enemy team. So that's something they don't want to do. But right now it just appears to be a stalemate. I can't help to think that there's something that this blue team could do. Sleipnirs are known for their speed and Sabers are known for their speed. And the 3 Griffins on this red team are really far behind their Proteuses, potentially, in my opinion, these sabers could kite around, go in the back, and kill these griffins. But right now, they're just doing nothing, and nobody is going to win a match unless somebody blows something up.
That's kind of my thought. Look, this field, if I'm the Reputation Cartel FC, I maybe think of something. I mean, my guess is the Drake is running gang links, so they may not want, I haven't looked at him to see the effect, but they may not want to throw the Drake away. But at the same time, the Drake is going to be slower of the ships. You might put him out a little bit, see if you can bait the Proteus into committing on the Drake, and then split the Slepters off around either side. You can go around behind and pick off the support, the Griffins. But I'm not sure if that's how they're playing it. I really don't know. Right now, we're watching time tick away. We've had 4 solid minutes go, 4.5 minutes go. There's only 5.5 left on the clock. These teams need to start making some sort of moves here, or this match is going to end in a stalemate, which is not what we would like to see for sure.
Well, I think sooner or later these teams are going to realize that time is ticking, and we're going to see a mad dash for points.
And here come the Proteus. Like speeds have kicked up.
The red team have taken that decision. They have the balls in this relationship, and they're going right at the blue team. And the blue team, instead of meeting their challenge, are turning around like ladies and running. Look at them go.
No, they could be trying to let the Proteus bloom their signatures with the MWD while burning out, maybe cap themselves down a little bit, and use their fall off. That's what Sleipnirs have lots of. You put barrage in those, and you can easily lay down some damage around 30, 25, 20 kilometers. It's not a substantial amount of damage, but it is some, and perhaps they are hoping to use that to their advantage. You see first damage finally starting on live from the stage. Sleipnir, he is taking some damage now.
You're 100% correct there, and he's taking considerable shield damage for a Sleipnir. He may not have activated his ancillary booster yet, or maybe that scimitar is just not watching what is going on, although he is now gaining shields and appears to be holding. But from the red team, no damage is getting in there, which is very interesting, considering the weapons on the blue team have the longer range than the weapons on the red team. You would have expected to see the damage be different there. As we see, the blue team is trying to kill off the jamming frigates. The Griffin of Zaru is taking tremendous damage and nearly instantly dies, so that's the first Griffin down.
That it is. First blood goes to the blue team here. Blue Melon now stripped of his shields as well. This may be the start of what will be a slugfest here. We shall see. It is quickly mentioning that Jita Bump was the winner of the last trivia question, so congratulations to you. You will be contacted with your prize. Live from the stage is taking the damage coming to him. He is still the primary. We have not seen the Proteus switch their damage as of yet. They may choose to do so when they realize they aren't going to break him, but at the same time, Uriah Silverstone Zuneros is doing a fantastic job of keeping Blue Melon completely healed up at 100% armor, so neither side is really making much of a dent in the beefier ships. Another Griffin now, however, taking quite a bit of damage. It looks like one volley stripped it completely of its shields, and we will see if another 1 or 2 volleys will completely kill it off the field.
Yeah, this is very interesting target calling. I would have expected to see damage on both these logistics, especially the Oneirus, who was within weapon range of these Sleipnirs, but they appear not to have noticed that and not seized upon that opportunity. And he is now safe at range, and he's wrapping away this Griffin of Lee Jansen, who for a while looked like he was going to die, but is safely at full armor now, kept alive under the watch of Araya Silverstone in the Oneirus. On the blue team, however, the Drake is now starting to take damage. The red team may have realized that those gang modules were really assisting the blue team, increasing the range on their propulsion jamming modules, potentially increasing their shield hit points and tank. But himself is tanking under the reps of Cybertin and the Scimitar, and he's back to full shields again and does not look like he will be going down.
Well, we certainly see a different picture on the screen right now, though. Whereas before the first half of the match, both the blue and the red team clearly split across the field from one another. Now there's just a giant cloud of ships. They are skirmishing in and out. No one really going completely face tanking to the other team. They're not just going toe to toe, but certainly coming in a lot closer. You're seeing swarms of drones around various ships. Looking at Glasscutter's Drake specifically right now is eating quite a few drones. Has all of the red DPS on him, and he is slowly breaking now.
Appears the Reds have figured out how to put that DPS on Glasscutter, because he is being cut down and shattered by these 3 Proteuses. Maybe they switched the close range ammo, or whatever they've done, it worked, because he is dead. He is shattered into a wreck and blistering pieces as the blue teams keep trying to plunk away at these Griffins. You would think by now they would realize they had to change things up, try and take out the Oneirus, or maybe try and directly take down a Proteus. and it appears they are listening because the Oneirus of Araya Silverstone is taking damage.
Indeed, at this point, actually, yep, the Oneros is stripped of shields. One of the sabers for the red team is also taking damage. While these teams are even on ships, I do not believe they're even on points. The Drake worth a lot more. I'm double checking that right now. But losing the Drake is a big blow to the blue team. We will see how this pans out.
Precisely. Right now, the red team are winning on points. So if they can just hold on for another 45 seconds, they will take victory. But look at the Aeneas of Araya Silverstone. He is in armor now. And that armor is not gaining, so he is passive tanked in the armor and it is slowly going down. So when he goes down, that will be a big blow to this points only victory for the Reds. What the red team need to do right now is blow stuff up, but nothing is taking any damage on the blue team right now.
Indeed, that is bad news. This is a race against the clock. If that Oneros goes down, the wind does flip to the blue team. The Reputation Cartel will take the match if this Oneros goes down and nothing else changes. Although you see Cavalera and a Coercer just took a little sliver of shield damage, perhaps some damage coming his way. We are running low on time, but Cavalera is now being targeted.
Yep, the Oneirus is now turned into no Nereus, and he is being exploded. And the Cavalier and the Coercer are starting to take damage. It seems that the red team are scrambling to get any points, but as they lose another Griffin, that becomes more and more unlikely.
I have to take that back. I did not have a timer watching. The Oneros and the timer expired almost at the same time. Apparently, the timer ran out just before the Oneros died, and the match actually did go to insurance.